Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Joe and welcome to a brand new video. Now, a few days ago, I made this video where I looked in the Steam Workshop at some items or weapons specifically that I believe could be added in the Team Fortress 2 heavy update that is anticipated. Of course, the heavy update isn't confirmed to be happening, but a lot of people think it's going to. You know, Valve hinted at it when they dropped that Pyro update. And just generally, there's a lot of hype around the heavy update as a whole, as a concept. So I went into the workshop and looked at some weapons that the community had made that I believe could be added to the game. And you guys seem to love the video. There was so much support, likes and comments on the video. So I figured I'd come back into the workshop and do the same. But this time we're going to be looking at cosmetics. I'm going to be looking at heavy cosmetics that I feel like could be added to the game in the heavy update. Now, yeah, I mean, we could just get straight into it. There's so many amazing cosmetics. I can see a Thanos, I can see, I'm pretty sure that's Guy Fieri. There's just so many questionable cosmetics here, but I am only going to be looking at serious ones in this video. And who knows, man, maybe we'll see a few of these added in an update in the near future by Valve. Without further ado though, guys, we're going to get straight into it. So this first item is called the Comedian, and it's a clown face paint cosmetic for the heavy. I love this. I can imagine this being memed a lot on Twitter, particularly if someone just says something really stupid. There'll be a lot of people replying with this image or an image of the heavy wearing the clown mask. I just think this is amazing, and by the looks of it, there's like a full clown or jester set, and it just really suits the heavy. In my opinion, although this is paintable, I could definitely imagine this being a Halloween cosmetic. It's got the Halloween tag, which does make sense actually. This would be a great Halloween cosmetic. I can imagine this in a Screen Fortress case. And although my internet is horrendous, we're getting a rough idea here of how it would look with various paints. I mean, a pink painted clown mask for the heavy is a tiny bit wacky. Same with the lime paint. But yeah, this is really cool, man. I love how it like slightly changes the heavy's face shape as well. Just overall, this is definitely really cool. This one is really sick. This one was advertised as a heavy hat, but it's actually a all-class hat. It's called the Random Hat, and as you can see, it's kind of like a slot machine that has an image of a bunch of different hats. This is an amazing concept. I could even imagine this being added as some sort of reward hat, like the Gifting Man from Gifting Land and the Jeweler and other hats like that. It's definitely that kind of style with a big top hat. Let me read the description of this. So it says on the whiteboard, no kidding, it's even more random than random crits. Every time on respawn, it randomly changes its appearance of one of the existed hats in the game. Only hats, not like any cosmetic item. But for a good reason. Hats can be unusual. So if you're freaking lucky that managed to get this hat in unusual quality, every single time you respawn, you'll be getting a random hat with a random unusual effect. It's also paintable. It paints its handle with your favourite pink as hell, and all the hats that will be appearing in this colour. This is an amazing concept, right? But the unusual effect thing is a bit different, because I don't know how Valve would implement into the game an effect where, or an item where it changes unusual quality every time you respawn, you know. I can't really imagine Valve doing that. So what I imagine is if you unbox this in Burning Flames, the hat would stay as Burning Flames, but the images of the hat would be different. I can't imagine the unusual effect changing. But this is really cool, man. This is an amazing concept, and I'd definitely like to see this added. This is really cool, man. I'd definitely like to see this added. I'm even going to put a little yes on that. Do I think it'll be added? I'm not too sure, but I'd definitely like to see it in the game. This is a multi-class item for the heavy, the soldier, and the demo man. It's like a balaclava with a little headset on. I kind of get like military vibes from this, almost like CSGO or Rainbow Six, where it's kind of serious. They've got the balaclava and like the communications headset. This is really cool. It's also fully paintable. Once again, we're seeing a lot of fully paintable cosmetics here. But this is definitely one I can imagine Valve adding. I think it would be a blue quality item. And I could imagine this probably getting an unusual as well, man. I can imagine this unusual being fairly cheap as well. Although it's a multi-class, I feel like it would be unboxed a lot due to the blue quality. But this is really cool. I really like how this looks, the kind of professional military theme. And yeah, this hat is nothing short of fantastic. I mean, I think we should see this added into the game. This is the hat Veg. Essentially, it's the sandwich. 2 slices of bread put on the heavy's hat, and it's ridiculous. I mean, you've got the tomato slices and a slice of bread around the neck, and a big loaf of... It's a heavy sandwich, essentially, is what this hat is. It makes a heavy sandwich, and I think it's fantastic. I'd love to see this hat added into the game. I feel like it would be quite hilarious to see this in unusual form as well. I mean, if you have like a burning flames one, it looks like you're cooking a sandwich. This would just be amazing. And I can imagine this being in it. Team Fortress 2, you know, it's kind of wacky. It goes with that kind of like wacky art style, and I really don't think it's too far-fetched to imagine this being added into the game. I think it would be like a pink tier if it was added into a crate like that. I don't know why, I just get those kind of vibes from it. But it's just a very silly, wacky hat. I love the design of it, and it would be really cool to see this added into the game. So this next one is two different styles of hat, I think. One of which being the Tarzan and one of which being the heavy metal, I think. So essentially it's a huge like lock of hair. Obviously it's a direct reference to Tarzan and Tarzan's hair, but on the heavy. And I mean, it looks ridiculous. I can imagine with a few of the jungle themed cosmetics you could actually make some really cool loadouts with this. And of course the hair is fully paintable, so although it does look a tad wacky, you could make it lime, you can make it pink. I actually think it looks really cool in that like bleach color. This is just a really cool cosmetic, but not only that, there's also a second style, which is like the Mercs Mohawk on steroids. This is the Mercs Mohawk times 10, a massive kind of mohawk of hair on the heavy, once again fully paintable. It literally looks like a paintbrush. It looks like the heavy has turned himself into a paintbrush in these, and I mean, once again, a pretty cool looking cosmetic. It would be pretty wacky to see this added. I could definitely imagine this style being added more so than this. I can't imagine that would fit into the art style a huge amount, but I can definitely imagine a few nice loadouts with the Tarzan for sure. This one is called the Comic Book Connoisseur, and I think I'm inferring this right when I say it's a reference to The Simpsons and the comic book man. This is really cool. I can imagine this being pretty cheap if it was added to the game, but it essentially makes the heavy completely bald on the top of his head, and then around the back it gives him a bunch of hair, like a mullet essentially, and a ponytail.
20 minutes later.
Yeah, I bloody knew it, lads. Here's the comic book guy from The Simpsons. It's pretty much exactly the same, where he is bald on top and has that ponytail coming out the back. So I finally caught a reference. I mean, a lot of people were pretty annoyed at me because I was mislabeling guns in the last video, but at least I caught a reference to The Simpsons in the Comic Book Connoisseur. This is really cool, and it looks like a misc as well because it can be combined with a hat, for example there. I'm pretty sure that's a capo's capo maybe, and it really doesn't look out of place there. The kind of two cosmetics go hand in hand together. This is really cool. This is the Deep Jungle Giant for the heavy, and it kind of reminds me of the Shelmet for the soldier that we saw added pretty recently. It's a very similar style of just like a helmet with bullets strapped to it. But this is quite interesting. It's obviously a jungle themed cosmetic. This is like a helmet I'm assuming someone will wear in jungle warfare. But what I'm interested about is if, obviously we had Jungle Inferno for the Pyro update, if they do a jungle themed heavy update, a lot of people think it's going to be like Siberia themed or like snowy themed, but I really wouldn't be surprised if they did another jungle themed update, and this would be a hat that would definitely be in with a shout of making an appearance. It fits that kind of art style perfectly, and I'm seeing here it's in a collection of a deep jungle combat collection of other jungle cosmetics, so it looks like someone has literally made like a almost jungle set of cosmetics, which is fantastic. I could definitely imagine this being added. It's very simple. It would be like a good crate filler, I imagine. It would be a blue tier, much like the Shelmet, and would just go straight into crates and pretty easy to unlock. And speaking of the jungle update, potentially, there's another cosmetic here. This is actually an all-class cosmetic, but it was initially shown on the heavies. You can see there, it's a big kind of Mayan Mask. Really cool. It kind of definitely fits that, once again, Aztec or jungle theme. I'm really not too sure what, but it reminds me of a TV show called Jungle Run. Whenever I talk about it, no one seems to remember it, but there were statues that looked exactly like this. But this is really cool cosmetic. The feathers are completely paintable, and kind of like all the facial features in terms of hair as well are paintable, which is pretty cool. This is called the Brutal Hair and Beard, and I can definitely imagine Valve adding this into the game, as there's cosmetics that look kind of similar to this at the moment. However, what this is like long hair once again, but I think it comes with a beard. I think it's like two cosmetics in one, in the sense that it comes with the facial hair in, which kind of makes things like the Allfather and the Cuban Bristle Crisis and other beard cosmetics redundant, because you can now have a hat and beard in one, and this is really nice. I think they go well together, and I love how it's paintable as well. You can see the different kind of styles of it here, and obviously this means it's fully paintable, which means we could see this in lime and pink and all sorts. And just overall, this is really nice. It's very kind of like, it's not too flashy, it's not too out there, and it definitely fits some cosmetics that we already have in the game. This here is amazing. It's essentially a maskless style for the war hood, and the war hood was added into the game fairly recently, and it's a big kind of shrouded hood with a mask covering the face. And someone is, I'm assuming this is a creator of the war hood, has removed the mask, and I actually definitely prefer how it looks without the mask, because it means you can add this kind of beard. As you can see there, someone's added the Cuban bristle crisis, and it opens up like a realm of possibilities as to other items you can combine with this cosmetic to make some pretty awesome loadouts. And the final cosmetic we're going to be looking at is the Warlocks, and it essentially adds a kind of, this kind of reminds me of Harry Potter with characters like Dumbledore. It's a big, long, almost like old-fashioned type beard. The character even has a pipe. Actually, I think this may be a reference to Gandalf, honestly, because he's got the wizard's hat, a long pipe, and a long beard. And it says this is either Smithmas or Halloween, but with that Halloween hat added, or the kind of like Crone's Dome almost style wizard's hat, I can imagine this being more of a Halloween cosmetic, but that long beard suggests Smithmas. This is a really cool multi-class item, and once again, this really wouldn't look out of place with a lot of loadouts in the game. I love how this looks. It says someone's made a popular discussion saying you shall not pass, so I'm definitely sure this is a reference to Gandalf. That's another reference I've got, and hopefully haven't got wrong. But guys, that is just about it for this video. If you did enjoy, then please do remember to leave a like and let me know your thoughts down below, along with what one of these cosmetics from this video has been your favourite that you would like to see added into the game the most. And also guys, if you want me to do any other workshop type videos, so maybe look at some other stuff in the workshop, then let me know what you'd like me to look at down below. Thanks again so much for watching, guys, and peace. 4. I'm waiting for a good day, I'm really feeling good, mate. It's never gonna come like skate. 4. I'm so consistent like my heartbeat, always up the top like Vardy. In the scene, nobody's getting past me. You think you're better than me, hardly. I'm a once like a one-man army. Gotta grind up and get myself a car G. Cop a nice job with the palm trees. But until then, I'll focus on my craft. See, I get a lot of hate like trash guys. Stop, but your girl gets gassed at the track.